This week's episode is brought to you by, well, nothing. Like it all. It's a show about nothing. The episode's about nothing. We hope you enjoy, and thanks for listening to Nexus at Night for 150 episodes, bitch! Hey everybody, welcome to Nexus at Night, the only podcast where you can hear people clipping their nails, bags of chips, or lip smacking. I'm Atlas.
I'm Matt.
I'm barely paying attention at any given point in time.
Like ever?
Maybe today, who knows?
Sure.
Wow, rude.
Well, I think we should...
How many episodes has it been?
This is our 150th episode of Nexus at Night.
Jesus Christ.
I know, right?
That's so many episodes.
I know.
Yeah.
It feels like yesterday we were doing the 100th episode with the face cam, which was...
Oh man, that episode was sweet.
Yeah.
My cat was bothering me during the episode. Yeah, that was great.
And then it took me forever to edit, because I had to edit, graphics and shit.
Oh yeah, dude. That shit's insane. I don't know how people do. I think most people just don't.
I think how people do that normally is that they're part of a podcast network where they have, paid producers whose job it is to go in and edit you. Where, I have a 9-to-5 job where I have to edit this the night before I go to work the next day, which is why you hear things like a nail clipper or a bag of chips or something like that.
You know, I still stand by. I did not hear the nail clipper during that entire recording. Did not.
I can't even remember which episode it is at this point. I don't even live with that guy anymore.
Right?
But
that was absolutely insane, because it was in another room.
Yeah, he was in the next room over. Shout out to Roy. Clipping his nails. So...
Would you say that Roy was your boy?
Roy is our boy, for sure. He was a cool dude. So... Anybody who listens to this podcast will know that often we do go off topic, and when we do go off topic, there's a little running gag where we go, Nexus at Night the blank podcast. And I figure, in the spirit of our 150th episode, we would talk about nothing.
What? But how will we know when it's over?
I do.
All right. When we all get tired enough, when we
Proceeds
fall
to just...
keyboards.
Yeah.
Well, you last week?
It would have been hilarious if you had just ended the call right there and then the episode. That's just the whole episode.
All right, that would be cheats.
No, honestly,
sometimes
what?
When I'm listening to podcasts, they're just having a conversation. I'm like, this is exciting.
In general, just a conversation.
Yeah, they're just having a conversation that I'm listening in on. It's fine.
I'm still waiting for a movie where, you know how in the movies where the whole movie could have ended if they had just done X or if they didn't do Y, where you go to the movies, you know how you go to the movies nowadays and there's a dude who it's the runtime is 1 hour and 47 minutes or something, the exits are over there, blah blah blah. I think they do that at the ArcLight mostly, but I just want a movie to be a lie where you go in and the guy tells you the runtime is a normal amount of runtime, but the movie ends at the 5-minute mark when a super easy solution is found and they just take it.
I would feel cheated.
I would too, but I think it would be super funny.
All right, only if they gave people their money back.
Or
if they have to pay for it, that would be tilting.
I think you'd have to put on a special event, pretend that it was a discount.
Right.
Or something like that.
But you can only do it once. Because then they tell the internet, and then that's it. That's the kicker.
Yeah.
Or either that, or the movie ends, and it's just, instead of the credits rolling, and that's it. The credits roll, and then the movie starts over again with commentary from the director, the DVD commentary, but it's just the movie again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The 15-minute movie or however long it is. I miss that. Just commentary on stuff. Because
it exists, but people just don't buy DVDs and shit anymore, where those things usually are. People just don't buy hard copies of movies anymore. They just don't.
I know, but okay, I've been trying to get Netflix to do this for years, he says, as if he has a direct link to anybody important. But I think you know how you can turn on closed captions for Netflix?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They should just record, director's commentary, and then you can turn it on or off.
I don't know. I mean, it already exists for a lot of movies because it was on DVDs.
Right, of
but
course.
Mm-hmm.
Something that's possible for sure.
I guess. Or like, I
But
know that...
I mean, just because your dad works for Netflix doesn't mean, like, it's going to happen, though.
Hey, my dad is an eye doctor, okay? All right.
My dad works for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Gonna have your Roblox account banned.
My what account?
Roblox.
Roblox.
I totally forgot that was a thing.
So, for those who don't know, I'm on kind of like a superhero movie, like, hiatus. Or, like, I'm not watching, like, almost any superhero movies because there are too many of them and I don't feel like watching them all.
Oh, of course.
There's just too many. But I did watch the Into the Spider-Verse, the animated the CG Spider-Man movie, because it's on Netflix, and I was like, oh, now seems like a good time to watch it.
Right.
And I only cried to like a third of it, which I thought was pretty badass. I could easily see myself crying to more of it. I only cried to a third of it, so I feel like that's like really strong.
How is your boycott going with Disney's stranglehold on the movie industry?
I mean, I'm not really boycotting. I'm just choosing not to watch them. I guess I don't know if that's like I don't really have a reason for not watching them, except that I don't want to watch them all.
Right, of course. That's more like
and like I saw like the first Thor, which was dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
The first Captain America was also dog shit. So I think those kind of soured me on a lot of the superhero movies.
Right.
Because you had like Spider-Man 3, which was absolute dog shit. Thor, Captain America were all dog shit. And then like by the time the good ones came out, I already kind of didn't care.
Right.
I guess if that makes sense.
So that would have been while we were in college together.
Exactly.
Then. And none of us were really encouraging the others to go see it. We were mostly just playing card games.
You see what so we were playing Vanguard, just not really caring about whatever these movies were.
Yeah.
But like when I was like in undergrad and stuff, I used to watch a lot of movies just because like I liked watching a lot of like weird movies and stuff.
Right.
But I just haven't been able to do that recently. I'm not really sure why.
Life gets in the way.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Just like also like just rather be doing other things, I guess.
Makes sense. Most of the times that I've gone to see a Marvel movie, it's because I have to be prompted by other people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've been intrinsically excited by, oh shit, this is coming out. It's always had to be someone being like, it's great, you gotta go see it. Or people at work start talking about it and they're like, you haven't seen it yet, go see it. And just the FOMO, I guess. You just end up...
Every recent one I've seen by just randomly, like not by like I was just like it was just like somebody like watching it when I'm there, or like I just like. But the only one, and I think what's weird about Into the Spider-Verse, and I think what got me to watch it over the other ones, is that the way people talked about it was different.
How so?
I don't know. People like a lot of the movies would say, "Oh man, it was really sweet and like fun." And I'm like, okay. But with Into the Spider-Verse, they're like, it was just like they would have more to say about it. Like they would say things like, like I really like how like they blended the stories, or like whatever. Like they would just have more to say, which made me want to watch it more. And like everyone would say like not just how fun it is or how exciting it is, but how good it is, and like explain. And they would say a little bit more on why that is. And I think like the characters are really well developed in that movie too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Also, the animation style, if nothing else, is interesting to look at. Mm-hmm. And that's not counting all the other good shit. It's like a good dating profile. Like, or you go on Tinder or something, instead of just like, let's fuck or something, it's, it's something that... I don't know. I'm not I assume for women it's just like that picture of the cat where it's just staring at all the hot dogs. You guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, there's like this picture of like a cat, and he's sitting, and there's just a pile of hot dogs in front of him. That's what I imagine online dating is for women. It's just
probably true.
A pile of dicks that gets thrown at you every day. So
literal dicks or proverbial dicks?
Both.
I see.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Rough for them.
Have you guys tried online dating recently?
Have not.
No.
No?
That is low on the list of things that I care about.
Yeah. I don't feel like subjecting myself to Tinder, thanks.
See, the last time I did Tinder, I ended up dating this girl who ended up cheating on me, and then a bunch of other bad stuff happened that I should probably not talk about, so I won't. But the point is, it scarred me pretty bad. So I moved on from that after, like, I think almost a year of not dating anybody. It was just being a sad sack for most of a year, like 10, 11 months. And then eventually I decided to get back in with Coffee Meets Bagel, which is the dumbest name for a dating app I've ever heard. Ever.
I'm still not even sure what their idea was for that, but sure.
I don't know who the coffee is and who the bagel is.
It's whoever you want it to be, dude. Sure. Are you the coffee or are you the bagel?
Yeah.
But,
do you think you're the coffee?
Maybe you dunk it.
Do people even eat bagels with coffee anymore? Bagels seem
I
more
do
like a
love
smoothie
bagels.
thing. Me too.
What? No! Are you nuts?
What do you mean?
What do you mean that's
a bagel with a smoothie?
You are insane.
The Noah's Bagels next to the Jamba Juice in Studio City. Thank you very much. That's
like
what
California just doesn't deserve bagels.
Fuck you. Anyway, so Coffee Meets Bagel, it's kind of like Tinder, but instead they only give you, I think, 20 to look at every 24 hours, and you're allowed to send a message with your swipe right. So it's like you're encouraged to like actually make an effort. And so far, all of the Coffee Meets Bagel dates I've had have turned out well in one way or another. To the point where, like, you know how on Tinder you get like half a match? And by that I mean it's they match you and then unmatch you. That's half a match. But like with Coffee Meets, I got 2 at once.
What?
Oh, 2 at once. So then it just kind of turned into a thing where you're trying to keep track of who you said what with. So like you try, I was trying to keep the same basic conversation flow with the same people, just to make it easier on myself. And then of course they both go off in weird tangents. So on one I was talking about politics, and with the other it was if you could invite a musician, a historical figure, and a sports star to dinner, who do you pick for the most interesting dinner? And my answer to that was John Paul Jones again, and Sandy Koufax.
What?
Yeah, there's John Paul Jones, the bassist from Led Zeppelin, and then there's John Paul Jones, who was the USA's first Navy commander, who during the American Revolution sailed to the British Isles, captured a ship off the coast, and then just basically conducted pirate raids for a bunch of years, and never got caught. He was just like fucking shit up for the British and like being a general nuisance. Go watch the oversimplified oversimplified videos about the American Revolution for details.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good time.
What's like your guys' answer to that question? Who would you bring to dinner?
Fuck.
I mean, this requires like knowing stuff. How difficult?
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
like historical figure, I'm just going to say Julius Caesar because I've been watching videos about the Battle of Alesia after watching a bunch of random Reddit videos about stupid historical facts.
Nice. What other stupid historical facts did you learn otherwise?
There was Operation Paul Bunyan. There was a time where we wanted to chop down a tree on the border of North and South Korea, and a couple of American soldiers got killed, so we sent an entire army down there to cut down the fucking tree.
For what reason? Just to be a dick? What, like...
Well, originally we were cutting down the tree because it was in the way, and then 2 guys got shot, so then we decided we had to be the big swinging dick and sent an entire army down to cut down the fucking tree.
That seems completely unnecessary and exactly like what I'd expect the U.S. military to do.
Oh, of course. Especially in the 50s. You said this was during Korea, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think this was more recent, but I don't remember.
Oh, I thought you meant like during the Korean War. Like.
No.
Oh, okay. Never mind. That's really funny, especially if you call your thing Operation Paul Bunyan.
Yeah.
What a good name, though.
I know.
I'm sure someone was real proud of that name.
It fits in the dumbest way possible.
Well, it's also like such a dumb story that like if you just be like, what the fuck is a Paul Bunyan?
Just like tall, like a folktale character. Yeah, like, you guys know that story about Julius Caesar and like the pirates, right?
No, please tell.
So when he was younger, he got like before he became emperor, he got captured by pirates, and they were going to ransom him back to the Republic. And he was like, "Guys, you aren't asking for enough money. You should ask for more money." And then they go, "Why?" He's like, "I'm worth more than that." And they're like, "Okay." And then before he leaves, he goes, "I'm going to come back and kill each and every one of you." And then he did.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, like so many people talk shit about history, and just it's full of dumb, stupid shit like that.
Yeah. I mean, the Battle of Alesia was that Caesar had a Gaul army like holed up in a fortress, so the Gaul army had more people than him, and attacking the fortress would have been suicide. So instead, he built a wall around the city to siege it. And then the Gauls sent a much bigger army to reinforce it, so he built another wall behind his first wall to keep the reinforcing army out, and just fought both sides at the same time, with like a quarter of their forces.
That's like some next level
How do you get away
petty.
with that?
Yeah.
How do you get away with that? How does that happen?
I don't know, but it worked. He won. Like,
Fucking insane.
apparently at one point, he started grabbing people. He joined the battle personally, and he would just grab any able-bodied person that was trying to retreat and physically throw them back into the fight.
That's really funny.
Hilarious.
What are you doing running into the shower? Get the fuck back in there. Go play dodgeball.
You can dodge an arrow, you can dodge a ball.
I gotta watch that movie again. That's just been so long.
I feel like I never need to see that movie again.
I mean, I think I watched it as like a young teen. I want to try watching it as an adult, see if it ages well.
Yeah, I don't really have a good answer to the question that you brought up. I don't know. I don't.
Not even a musician or a sports star, like just someone you want to talk to, or
Not really. Why would I care what they have to say?
I was gonna say sports star probably doesn't really sound like something any of the three of us would care about, but musician at the least, no.
I don't know a lot of like musicians. I'm not a huge music guy.
Oh, okay.
Like I listen to music, but I don't like
Pay
know
attention.
about music. If that makes sense.
Right. No, I've had the people who are like into the history of what one band or another.
Yeah.
Or all of them. See, that ended up happening with me because in high school I used to I played bass in a band, and we were called obvious plagiarism because all we did were covers of stuff. And like, I'm not even kidding. We would wear other bands' T-shirts during concerts, and I ended up learning all this stuff about like just rock, like history of like 70s and 80s rock, because my guitar teacher was just teaching. When he was teaching me the songs, he would like talk about these bands and be like, this guy did this, or they wrote this song because of that, and just like you kind of fall down a rabbit hole because of it.
Right.
Yeah. And then example, there is a Rush song called I think I'm Going Bald. And it was written because they were on tour with Kiss in the 70s. And Kiss had a song called Going Blind. And the guitarist, Alex Lifeson, was actually going bald. And he's like, alright, fuck it, I'm just going to do something ridiculous. Think I'm going bald. So, yay, music history.
Yeah. Stuff I don't know about. A lot of stuff I know is like math related.
Well,
So
of
it's
course.
like
Your
people
major.
care less about it.
Yeah. Like, is there an interesting math fact we should know?
I mean, there's plenty. But do you want to know? Probably not.
They're subjective, I'm guessing, when it comes to the word interesting.
Everything's subjective if they're interesting or not, right?
Well, I mean, this is also coming from the people who use the word objectively a lot.
Well, yeah, I use objectively when I'm being tongue-in-cheek about something.
Me too.
Mm.
Want to know why? Because I got it from you. Thanks, Dad.
Yep.
You know.
You're welcome. You're welcome, son.
The amount of language of osmosis I've picked up from this man is not to be underestimated. See also the medium plus, medium minus.
So useful.
It is useful, and it made its way to my family and the girl I was dating that just broke up with me about
Nice.
2 hours before this podcast. So,
Oof.
she's about to start her master's program, and but yeah, shout out to her. I'm not going to say her name, but
Obviously.
yeah.
Grad school's hard.
Yeah,
so
I know it is.
Best of luck.
It's one of those things where I'm like hurt, but I understand. It's like
Yep.
a good villain. You're like, oh, I can understand where they're coming from. Not that she's a villain, but just like.
Yeah, there's some people who go through grad school holding relationships they had from undergrad, which is fine, but it's depends on the person, of course.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't from undergrad. It's just we met via the bagel.
So she took a break and then.
Yeah, so she took a break and then was working. I think she decided to go back to school shortly before meeting me.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, I hope it goes well for her.
It's unfortunate for you, but unfortunately, relationships are not I think the difficulty is that they're not for one person, right? It kind of has to.
Yeah. It's
selfish to think otherwise.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's something everybody can, glean help from is to take something important with you in every relationship you're in. Like my relationship with you guys, i.e., I learned the word medium. And
Wow, I'm glad that's the biggest effect I had on you.
I mean, it's the most obvious if we're talking about day-to-day usage. I use medium for everything. But no, so the girl I dated in college, it was for 3.5 years, and the important thing I took away from that was that I wasn't attentive enough or not doing enough of the emotional labor, which I didn't even know was a thing until it was told to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that men are kind of taught not to do. Which is kind of the problem. So.
Well, yeah, because your whole life you're told you to grow up and bring home the bacon, but not
never show emotion. Emotion is weakness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Weakness
that kind of bullshit.
Weakness is a sin. Nexus at Night, the Vanguard podcast.
I forgot about that guy with his horse hair.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll ever bring him back to the anime?
They have to.
Fight.
He's too hilarious.
He is super fucking funny.
If they brought back the other
Getting
chumps,
the prequel arc with Shin and Shadow Paladin is still in it, so he might very well come back.
Kid. It's gonna be Kid, this guy. Oh baby.
Oh, Kid Kanzaki?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Imagine.
So basically he's like a Ben Shapiro type, I'm guessing?
I surely fucking hope not.
Just not in terms of political ideology, but just that kind of impotent child anger.
And not actually knowing what's going on.
Exactly, yeah. Just that kind of my favorite thing about Kanzaki is that when you see him put cards on the field, instead of doing the two fingers thing that you see a lot of anime characters do, he uses his fist. Just he's I just like the idea of him you do a sequel series and they're all older and they're like, what happened to Kanzaki? Oh, he had a brain aneurysm at 30. I don't know what the fuck happened to him. He just
Yeah, they should bring him back. That'd be really funny.
Yeah. I mean,
although I think all the Shadow Paladin characters are decently popular anyway, so whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got Rin and Kazuma? But he's not gonna be there.
Oh god, no.
Yeah. I liked Kazuma. Yeah. I thought he had a decent arc.
He was kind of a shitter, but
he was a pissy little dude in the beginning. But he got better.
Yeah.
Also, when he was possessed by Gizai, he that was some fucking great outfit he was wearing.
Wasn't as bad as the Dimension Police kid in that arc.
Which one? The one with the bowl cut?
The Cosmic Hero kid.
Oh, Hiroki?
Yeah, whatever his name is.
The one with the turquoise hair.
That kid.
Yeah, I hate that kid. He's so obnoxious.
Now you know
I didn't mind the kid in Trinity Dragon. He just played Enigma and sucked.
Yeah.
But like the fucking Justice kid, but he had like this dumb sense of justice. It's like really annoyed me.
I mean, it was at least decent writing where like they explained his character motivation and stuff.
I mean,
maybe
you
bad
can explain the character
execution.
motivation, but it doesn't make a good character.
I guess
Yeah.
so. I mean, whatever. I don't think he was annoying as a character, but I think in terms of how they wrote him, it at least made sense.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was not a fan.
Yeah.
I was like this, but maybe it's because he was connected to Dimension Police. I don't
Makes
know.
sense. Well, now you know how it feels to watch every Great Nature person in the show.
Well,
every
I like the Trinity Dragon guy.
okay, yeah, he was the best one, but he wasn't that great. Like
No, he reminds me of the koala guy from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. If you know what I'm talking about.
Chumley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like the same character.
Yeah, what? Just big dudes with spiky hair.
Big
yeah, makes
oaf.
sense.
Yeah.
He's a big doofus. But like so the first time we saw Great Nature in like a major character, or it wasn't like a one-off shot or something, it's you get Chris from the original Vanguard, who is just this pissy little kid who I wanted to punch in the face. And then his friends who are also pissy, and I wanted to punch them in the face. Then you get Kay, who's pretty good. He's not great. He's just kind of like Trinity Dragon is just kind of a meme to begin with. So
It's true.
that comes with its own set of problems. And then finally, in the nowadays, you have the president of the student council who like joins the Vanguard club, and they do the like teaching them how to play episode with him. And he's fucking terrible. He's like, I'm going to call Geograph Giant to the not Excel circle. And I'm like, come on, you can read. You're better than this, you know?
No, they can't read that. We already know that. There's no text on the cards. What's there to read?
Do you think that because there is no text on the cards, they're doing that as like to save money on animation? Or do you think they're doing that where
No, they
that's
want to
what
show
the
off
cards...
the art. They specifically want to show off the art.
Okay, but so that means in that universe... Like
They
all
just
the
know
cards,
what the card does
yeah,
somehow.
They know what the card does. There is no text on the card, which means the complaint that we have where they're like, hey man, you should have known or you should have read the card.
Yeah, no, they just have that knowledge innately.
So that makes sense in universe, in that you can't read it, you just have to kind of know. Or
Except
guess.
they're still surprised when people activate card effects.
Right.
Yeah. But that's why people are surprised, is because they just materialize them during that specific fight. Sometimes literally.
That happens.
Well, like the thing where he's like, I'm going to put 12 cards on top of my deck in an order I choose. And then he's like, I'm going to materialize this G-Guard that shuffles your deck. Suck it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or the time that, what's his face? Shion turned a sword into a card and played it.
I don't even remember
What?
that, but that sounds like it could have happened.
This was the end of that fucking shitty ass arc with Shion and the Ace guy?
I thought that was a good arc. I thought it was good, like, seeing him try to claw his way back up.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of hated all of that time. I don't know why. I was like, this is dumb. I just, you know what I really want out of the Vanguard anime? And I
What?
know I'll never get it. Or, I mean, I will at some point. Just want, like, no stakes Vanguard, man.
Yeah, that would be really nice, actually.
The beginning of every season has it be slice of life, and I wish they kept that for one season.
Yeah.
Right?
They try to, or they don't even try to. They always have that weird, like, subplots, and you're just like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think the prime example I have is Gundam Build Fighters. Like, the first season is kind of like low stakes, just like having fun. And the second season suddenly puts all these stakes on their matches for some reason. And I'm like, but why?
Yeah.
Just like, they just don't need to do that.
Also, the protagonist won the fight the same way every time. Jagan, how are you?
Fucking... I mean, they do that a lot in Vanguard, too.
Yeah.
Like, same fucking same... But there are enough different characters in Vanguard where I think it's like... You can change it up a little bit because they're releasing new cards as well. It's not always that bad. Or they win in the dumbest way possible, which is hilarious.
What, the double crit? Or
I loved it when was it Nagisa played against who did she fight? When she just like did she fight Aichi when she just like fucking triple crit him?
I think that was
so.
Chrono, actually.
Sorry, Chrono. Yeah, she's just like, and triple crit, you're dead, GG.
Yeah.
That was the best shit. We need more shit like that.
What, just that kind of troll thing, or like?
Yeah, just like, here's a fight, and everyone's like, oh shit, it's Nagisa versus Chrono. Everyone get hype, and then it's like, no, you're dead.
So it's like, so basically like the equivalent of that 5-minute movie pitch I was doing at the beginning of the episode.
Except there's still an episode to go, so you can start another fight so people don't feel cheated.
Oh, right, okay.
But you still have the laugh of the, getting triple crit and being like, shrug.
See, I always thought it would be neat if they did like a slice of life thing where they're playing Vanguard and stuff, they're doing tournaments, but they have like school and jobs and relationship stuff, like
I mean, Misaki's job is like makes a lot of sense why she's like in and out.
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't know, but like they just do all they do is school of Vanguard, right? Like,
yeah.
They don't have anything else.
Well, they are high school students, so it's like, what else are you gonna do? But I mean, like maybe I think I'm just trying to pitch our lives as a show where. Because I think it would be interesting if you had, like, a show about just, like, that's how they bond over stuff is card games, but they also have other shit going on.
I see. So you're saying, like, the Vanguard fight, like, the Vanguard anime, they do bond, like, primarily over Vanguard, but they just don't have a lot else going on. Like, they're not worried about exams, really, in the show.
Yeah.
They just kind of happen.
Yeah. So that's what it is in the real show, but I think, okay, here's an example. There's a show I've been watching called Workin' Moms. Yeah, and, that's a show that I'm watching. Me, a straight white male, is watching Working Moms. It's
a Lifetime show, or is it a...
No, it's...
DLC?
No, it's Canadian. It's on a CBC or something like that, and then they put it on Netflix. But it's made by... Catherine Reitman, who she's related to Jason Reitman. It's either her brother or her. I think it's her brother. But it's like it's her and a bunch of other moms, and they all have babies, and like it's all of their lives and all their problems. But how they know each other and how they like meet up every week is at this mommy and me class, right? So it would be something like that, just with Vanguard, and then like all the other shit you have to do.
I see.
I feel like
that's difficult because you have to make those characters feel human as well,
right?
And I guess it's kind of convenient in the Vanguard anime. They're just kind of like there. They don't have like all the problems they have are Vanguard related.
Yeah, they don't have their parents being like,
well,
what is that stupid game you're playing? Go get a job, or.
I guess that's not. Well, I guess like everyone knows about Vanguard and like see it as legitimate, at least in that universe. So it's a bit harder to say like people are going to have the same reactions. But like there was some hints that I think where Chrono could have had like a meaningful like struggle where they just kind of avoided.
How so?
Just like his family situation.
Right. What with his dad or like?
Yeah, with his dad and his living with his
it was his aunt, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm just saying like that could have been probably something like. Something more dramatic, but I don't think that's what they were going for. I think they might want, a fairly lighthearted show at the end.
Well, I mean, like the show is made to sell the cards, but like,
right.
I think
all the conflict they want is via the card game.
Yeah, but I still think there's something there with, like, it doesn't even have to be about Vanguard specifically. Just a show about people who play a TCG, and then that's how they know each other, and then like you have them convening over locals and stuff. My favorite scene with Chrono's aunt. And I think it's on our Twitter at Nexus at Night, but there's like a part where like he's going off to find his dad, I think, and it's just her watching the sunset, and she just says, "Good luck, you failure of a father."
What the fuck?
Like she's saying that to the sunset, like, "Good luck, my brother, you fucking asshole."
GG.
Yeah, she's barely in the show, but just that one moment, I was like, "Bravo." Snaps for Chrono's aunt.
Making everybody fucking worry about him.
Yeah, exactly. Root Beer, you've been awfully quiet this whole time. What's been up?
Nothing really. I'm drawing right now.
Oh, like for
what are you drawing?
Yeah.
Just stuff.
Nice. Oh, so this is completely unrelated to anything. But for those who don't know, I play a lot of the game Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah.
I'm on the server Leviathan, and the new raid tier came out a couple weeks ago, and I have cleared the third fight in the second week, which is pretty exciting for me.
Good job.
Nice.
Of the Savage tier. It's pretty annoying. There are people who've already cleared all of it, but they're super good. I'm pretty shit.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I'm pretty excited. It was really big last night. We killed him at 11 p.m. last night, 4 hours before reset, and so, or we wouldn't be able to.
Mm-hmm.
So we got there in the nick of time.
Good job.
Nice.
Yeah, I really enjoy Final Fantasy XIV. It's pretty fun. As far as like MMOs go, it's like good enough. I don't really care about WoW Classic because I played Classic WoW and I actually dislike it.
Really?
Yeah. So there's a lot of things that people. So Classic WoW is interesting because a lot of people have fond memories of it, but it's kind of this thing where like you forget all the bad stuff as the further it goes away. It's this nostalgia thing, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, oh, I remember liking all this stuff or all this stuff, but there are a lot of things about Classic WoW I thought were extremely obnoxious. For example, there's only one class that can feasibly tank, which is the Warrior class. So if you want to tank, you have to play exactly Warrior.
Okay.
The imbalance between Alliance and Horde. So in Vanilla WoW, Alliance had Paladins, who had a lot of buffs and healing, and Horde had Shamans, which had these totems that granted in parties particular buffs and stuff. And they had some light healing and damage spells, but they were kind of like all over the place. Well, nothing Shamans had really could balance out Paladin's Blessing of Kings, which was a 5% stat increase to every stat to your entire party.
Oh, Jesus.
And Shamans had Wind Fury Totem, I guess.
So that's the equivalent of once per turn, countercharge, soul charge, draw a card, call something from drop, call something from deck.
Yeah, and your opponent has once per turn, double this unit's power or something stupid.
Right.
It's like, what? It's just like, so there's a huge imbalance as PvE goes between Alliance and Horde. So like, that was one problem I had. So I played Alliance in Vanilla WoW because it was much easier to do PvE content, which is what I primarily cared about. And any class that had any amount of healing spells, including Shaman, were healers. Every single one. Regardless of what other things they had access to, they were healers. So that was also very unfortunate. So Priest, Druid, Shaman, Paladin, all ended up being healers. And other than that, there's just a lot of classes. Like even like Warriors were always tanks because if you played Fury or Arms Warrior, your DPS just wasn't good enough, like to take. So there's a whole bunch of that. So I'm not really a huge fan, but yeah. I can understand that why people are excited about it. And I don't know how long it'll last, but it's good that people get to re-experience that for at least a little bit until. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're going to end up in the same spot where people are just like, nah, I think I'll play something else. But for me, I'll just stick with Final Fantasy XIV, which I've really liked this latest expansion they've released for it. I think it's been really good.
That's good.
That's good.
I have some minor complaints, but they are extremely small.
I wish I knew what half the stuff you were talking about. Like it's kind of like when you've heard, like you can pick out words like in when someone's speaking Spanish, you can pick out like a few words. Yeah, so in MMOs, there are three main roles for the most part. There's tanks, which primarily are going to be the ones taking damage and holding aggro, or hate or enmity, whatever you want to call it. So there'll be some monster, and the tank will be the one to climb up on the hate charts and make sure they're taking the bulk of the damage.
Yeah.
Now
they're drawing the aggression of the enemy.
Right.
That's right. That's not to say that that everyone else won't take any damage, because a lot of these monsters do throw out damage to every person as well. But, so healers are primarily in the role of healing people, obviously. Primarily the tanks, because the tanks are taking the bulk of the damage, so they need to keep the tanks up, but also mitigate, i.e. lower the damage everyone else takes, and heal up people during raid wides. And there are some mechanics that require excess healing from healers as well. Usually healers in WoW might be priests. In Final Fantasy, it's White Mage, Astrologian, and Scholar. Where the tanks I think in Warcraft now are Warrior, Protect Paladin, Bear Druid, and something else I don't remember. I don't remember all the new classes.
Excel Druid?
Bear Druid.
No, because you said Protect Paladin. Never mind.
Oh, I see. No, there's no force, right?
Yeah, there's no Force Paladin. What a shame.
Yeah, in Final Fantasy we have Paladin. You always have Paladin, right? Warrior, Gunbreaker, and Dark Knight. But they're all like mostly the same kind of thing. They have things to reduce damage taken, they have things to increase enmity, and they have their own kind of DPS rotation because they do some damage. And the DPS classes are classes whose primary role is to deal damage. Your goal is to deal as much damage as possible and not die to shit. So you still have to do mechanics to not die to shit, but also you want to output as much damage as possible. Usually DPS classes require the most amount of button pressing. Like tank classes usually have a fairly easy rotation, where DPS classes will have a very complex and precise rotation. So you'll have to press a lot of buttons very quickly.
Farmers,
if you fuck up, it could be downside.
Farmers jailed in Australia for smuggling Danish pig semen in shampoo bottles.
That is an Onion article, right?
No, it's not.
Something that sounds like it should be an Onion article, but it isn't.
2 men from GD Port pleaded guilty in WA, I assume that's somewhere in Australia, to breaching biosecurity laws to gain, quote, unfair breeding advantage.
For pig semen.
Pig semen. 2 pig farmers in Western Australia will be jailed after being convicted of illegally imported Danish pig semen concealed in shampoo bottles.
Absolutely disgusting.
Oh my god. See, that's the kind of stupid story I need every once in a while when, like, everything else just seems so bleak.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, these guys went to jail, but, like, what, they're like, in a Rite Aid or something, and they see, like, a bottle of, like, Aussie shampoo, and they're like, I got it. That's how we're gonna smuggle it.
GG, dude.
Yeah. What's in these shampoo bottles? I'm just trying to add some roux to my dew, you know? Fuck. I guess we shouldn't talk about politics too much.
No, probably not.
On here,
Nah.
we get yelled at when we do that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Fucking snowflakes. I mean, what?
Yeah, they want us to stay on topic or something, which we're so good at doing.
Yeah, man.
Right.
That's the entire point of this episode, is that we stay on topic the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if you don't have a target, you can't miss. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, that pretty much tracks.
But, yeah. So, pig farmers, huh? Fucking. Did you see what was trending on Twitter yesterday?
No.
Some guy named. There's apparently a real person. No, this is a real life individual whose name is Dick Sweat.
Oh my god.
This is a real life individual.
I know about Dick Army, but Dick Sweat?
Dick Sweat.
And he goes by Dick. He doesn't
Christ.
go by, like, Richard.
That's right.
Well, that means he's just leaning into it, I think.
Like, there's no way you lean into that. No.
I mean, he's going
The
by
parents
Dick,
just
not by
hated-
Richard.
Dick Sweat.
Yeah.
I think even if people were like,
I've hated you.
I think
I'd
even
go.
if you introduce yourself, oh, I'm Richard Sweat, people are like, Dick Sweat.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter at that point. You might as well. But yeah, it was like, this was trending yesterday. I was like, what the fuck?
Do you think he ever, like, tried to camouflage it by just pronouncing his last name differently? Hi, I'm Richard Sweat.
Sweat?
Yeah.
What if it is like something else that we're just like mispronouncing it, but it looks like sweat?
Oh, yeah, of
it's SWETT. This
Oh,
person's
no,
apparently a congressman, by the way.
Oh, he's fucked. Yeah, no, that's like phonetically spelled too. Oof.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like real tough.
Yeah.
My
don't
name
know,
is
dude.
Richard Sweat.
Richard Sweat. How do you spell it? SWETT? You mean sweat? Yes. Sweat.
Did you know that they read Rocko's Modern Life?
Yeah, I haven't actually watched it yet, but I've seen, like,
Oh, yeah, I recommend it.
things here or there. Like, you've watched it? It's pretty good?
Yeah, I liked it.
Oh, that's good. Did you know that a novel set in the Avatar The Last Airbender universe, like a novel, is out, and it's about Avatar Kyoshi, and it's fucking awesome?
I'm probably not going to read this.
Fine. But I have, and it's pretty awesome. Like, people are killing each other with bending. Like they should.
Dang, that seems too extreme for me.
Really?
Kidding.
This is a Christian podcast. We will not have this kind of content on here.
I'm pretty sure the only one who was actually raised Christian was Matt. I definitely wasn't.
That could have been true.
Yeah. Well, like if life went a little differently.
I don't know, man. Religion's weird for me now. Because,
What?
like, I don't know how much I should get into this, but, like, I used to be, like, pretty staunchly, like, anti-religion. But then, like, that whole zone was kind of usurped by a bunch of people that I really dislike.
Uh-huh.
And so now I even feel uncomfortable. And, like, you know, people, I just kind of don't care if people are religious anymore. I don't know. It's kind of like, don't give a fuck. Like, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Just don't use it to be an asshole.
Yeah. Me too.
Like,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, don't be an asshole about your religion.
Yeah. I mean,
Don't be an asshole, period. How hard is that?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I have a
Very hard, apparently.
I have a fun story regarding that. So in high school, I went to this private school from middle through 10th grade, like 7th through 10th grade. And after 10th grade, my parents couldn't afford to send me there anymore because they were getting divorced and they were running each other out of money. So I was going to public school the next year. And like, I wasn't going to know anybody at this new school, so my mom took me to this, like, event where it's, like, the parents and their some, like, fundraiser, maybe? I don't know. But there was this girl who was, like, she was Christian, and I was in that, like, fuck people who are religious phase, and I just, like, immediately made myself unwelcome in that conversation. Like, just looking back on it now, it's the shit that, like, keeps you up at night, where you're like, oh my god, why did I say or do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Faith. That was your name. I'm sorry, Faith, for doing that.
That's always a fun time where something tangentially related to a time you were an absolute dumbass has in the past, and you're just like,
I think, like, we all have those times, though. And, like, I think, like, the fact that they haunt us is not, like, or, like, not really haunt us, I guess maybe is the right word, but, like, you know, come back and, like, be like, hey, don't do this again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like making mistakes is just part of being human, and you can make mistakes, but, like, you don't have, the person that you made, you know, that you hurt or annoyed or whatever doesn't really have to stay around you anymore. Under no circumstances do they are even forced to accept your apology.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, you know, that you learn from it and don't do it the next time.
See, I did learn from it, and I'm here talking about it now, but that doesn't mean that my brain has to bring that shit up like a highlight reel at 2 in the morning.
Yeah. Or just one day you're walking by a restaurant and then you remember the time you tried to order an Irish coffee because you didn't know what it was, and the waiter had to kind of nervously explain that it had a shot of whiskey and that you're underage.
Please tell me this actually happened to you.
Yes, it did happen to me.
That's great.
Sounds like some shit.
Okay, this is what they need to do. The education system in general needs an overhaul, but this is what they need to do at the beginning of 6th grade for every school in the world. In 6th grade, the beginning of the year assembly, instead of, like, welcome new student, no. You go in, you get the, like, gruffest, like, over it teacher, gym teacher, math teacher, whatever. Just have them come in, be like, all right, guys, welcome to 6th grade. Here's what's going to happen. For the next 3 years, it is going to be a fucking dumpster fire. Everybody's bodies are going to be changing at the same time, whether they say so or not. Everyone's going to be saying and doing things they're going to regret for the rest of their life. But it's happening to everyone. It's okay, and we can get through it together. That's all you have to say. Like, remember the shows that we watched when we were kids, like Ned's Declassified, As Told by Ginger, like stuff like that took place in a middle school, where they were like, middle school is a little weird, but you'll have your first kiss or something. It'll be fine. That was such a lie. Now they have shows like Big Mouth and, you know, the movie 8th Grade and Pen 15, where they're just explaining that middle school is the worst time in everyone's lives.
That's just true.
And I wish I had that back then, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, also, I don't think we would have fully appreciated it back then.
What do you mean? Oh, just like being middle
Like, because
schoolers
we're
and
kids,
watching.
right? Like, we wouldn't understand, like, what exactly they're getting at. Like, Big Mouth is not a kid show.
Of course
Not by any means.
But I mean, like, when you're in middle school, you're trying to watch, like, quote, adult shows because you're like, ooh, I'm growing up or something. Want to watch Family Guy or whatever it is, a 12-year-old.
Gross, I hope not.
Okay, but you see what I'm getting at. Where, like, they'll kind of watch it anyway. I can actually try this because I have half-siblings that are 9 and 7 right now, but they will get older, and I can try this out and see what happens. Show them Big Mouth, show them Pen 15, see what's up.
15.
What? Just because the show is named Pen 15?
Yeah, it's like so fucking stupid.
I believe that's the point, sir.
Yeah, well, I mean, yes.
This isn't entirely related, but this conversation is reminding me of the Oatmeal comic about what we should have been taught in the senior year of high school.
Dude, wait, the Oatmeal senior year. I don't think I've seen that one. I've seen the one about the mantis shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
That one was pretty cool. Okay, here's the idiotic system that we Americans use to measure things. It works by making ambiguous associations with tangible objects, much like a child would. And this is the metric system. It's simpler, easier, and the entire world uses it. Your assignment for the remainder of the year is to study, work, and think in metric units, thereby weaning Americans off the imperial system at an early age. If I catch anyone using imperial units in class, you'll be required to mush with me all the way back to my house after school. But Mr. Gilbert, don't you live like 30 miles from school? And what do you mean by mush with you? He's got him like attached to a sled. Let's try that again. How far do I live from school? 48.3 kilometers, sir. That's right, jackass. 48.3 kilometers. Now mush! Oh my god, there's more. Okay, I'm not going to say that, but just like, holy shit.
Yeah, my favorite one is the math one. Like, figure A. I had a main course, 2 drinks, and 1/6 of an appetizer we shared. Here's some cash. Okay, who ordered 3 Mongolian horse-witches? Also, I only have a debit card. Cindy had some of my fries, so make sure to deduct that from what I owe. Everyone else had 2 glasses of wine, but I had 16s. Here's some cash. I think the waitress farted near our table, so I'm only tipping 8%. Solve for X, where X is the amount of money you have to pitch in so you can go home.
So instead of calculus, which 99% of you will never use after high school, today we're going to learn the most complicated math you'll ever have to do as a grown-up.
Absolutely amazing.
I think they should do that, or like how to do your taxes and shit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck taxes, dude. I hate that shit.
Home
Every year I hate it.
Yeah, me too. Home economics. Today I'm going to save you a huge heap of marriage trouble and teach you how to load a dishwasher, because I'm guessing that most of you currently load it like inbred orangutans.
They don't load it at all, that's the point.
Yeah. Oh my god. The oatmeal is the shit, dude.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm gonna put this in the show notes. I'll put it for you to look at, because this shit is hilarious. And the oatmeal is the shit.
Yeah.
Why my cat is more impressive than your baby? He has the weirdest drawing style.
How to walk a human being.
If my dogs were a pair of middle-aged men. Anything else we want to say on this insane inanity of an episode? Which, by the way, you all requested. I put up a poll asking, next week will be our 150th episode. Should we do something special? 28% said Facecam again, 3% said normal episode, and 69% of you, because of course that's the number, said something stupid. So
Wait, that doesn't even add up, does it? You said 28, 3, and 69?
Yeah.
101% of you. Very good.
It's 29
and this
votes.
Is exactly what I expect.
I don't know. Wait, no, it isn't. That's 100.
Okay. Sorry, I can't math.
That was literally your major. What are you talking about?
Look. It's almost 1 a.m.
Right, of course.
At the time of recording.
For him.
And also, just because it's my major does not mean I can add two numbers together, okay?
That's true.
That means I can do much more obnoxious things easily, but not that.
Just because I got my major.
Simple
in
arithmetic
writing.
is the hardest kind of math.
I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking I was getting 29 plus 3 out of it somehow. I'm not really sure how that occurred.
Oh,
Yeah, it's dumb.
Maybe I'm physically looking at the tweet right now, so that might be part of it for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just hearing numbers and pretending I know what number you're talking. Oh, I think I know what happened. Never mind. It doesn't matter. I made a mistake.
Okay. Anyway, you all brought this upon yourselves, people. But next week we will have an actual Vanguard-related topic. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Nexus at Night. Guys, where can people find you online?
Find me at Wiggums, 2Gs.
You can find me at Plasma Eclipse.
You can find me personally at Atlas Novak, or you can find this podcast at Nexus at Night. Both of those are on both Instagram and Twitter, and I updated the actual Instagram today, so...
Holy crap.
I'm learning. All right, until next time, I'm Atlas.
I'm still Matt.
I'm Root Beer.
And have a good night, everybody.